Hi everyone, it's Carolyn, and I'm here to share another channeled message from the LightKeepers. But I want to first say, I'm sorry about my cold. I sound really foggy, and that's probably why it's going to sound through the whole video. So, needless to say, I welcome you if you're new to my channel, and hope you enjoy these videos from the LightKeepers, a group of angelic beings I channel. For more on this, you can go to my welcome video on my YouTube channel, Carolyn Zaiser. So thank you for joining me today, and thank you to everybody who's coming back to watch more of my videos. So today's is about time, and I thought it was so interesting how they spoke of time. And I think during this awakening journey, we start realizing the value of the moment and can also start discerning it from past, future, and really feel it as though it exists versus it always being the past and the future. So I'm going to talk about a little bit about that. So let's go ahead and get to the channel right now. And again, excuse me. All right, so I'm entitling this just basically time. Time measured and marked, enslaved by, wishing more of, never less, and certainly never ending. Moves quickly when joyous, then when trying times come, slowly it crawls. Never held in the hand or seen at all. But grasp the moment, the particle of time, and this is where you see life come alive. But only the now of what you do is where time stands still and truly exists, but not for long. Meaning comes in the moment and makes time real. So grasp it and take it into your own hands, this moment of time, and make it matter if you will. For that is what time is in what you do now. When you make every moment matter, time becomes hollow, and no longer does it carry its sword so high above your head, controlling you all the time. So this just had a different feel to it for me, and so I'm going to give you some examples and some things that I thought about with respect to this. So first of all, talking about time, and as you go through this journey, you start realizing and you hear more about, well, time isn't really real. Well, we operate in time in the human world, so that's kind of not accurate, at least. It's primarily a human construct, but we have to operate within it, right? I mean, it wouldn't be great if you just didn't plan at all for the future, especially if you're working and you have appointments. Just in general, it wouldn't work, right? But what I've realized is during this journey is it's more about the focus you have in the now moment when you're doing something versus, as we so often do, focus on the past about what has happened, and we belabor it and we live in the past depending on what the circumstance is, all right? Or we're constantly thinking about the future, planning the next week out, planning the next holiday, planning what you're going to do for your vacation, planning for work primarily, particularly, I mean, you really can't, at least I couldn't in my corporate world, go to work and not constantly be thinking about the future, because you always had deadlines, you always had projects due, you always had meetings coming up that you had to prepare for. So again, I go back to time's real in the human world, but it all happens in the moment. Everything you do and get done happens in the moment. So again, time enslaves us, as they say, when you think about it. And when you let that concept go of enslavement by time, because honestly, we do run on time in the human world. We're rushing around like crazy. Everything has to do with the clock, the watch on our hand, when we're going to be at a certain place. But when you step back and work within that and look at what you're doing right in the moment, the value of that moment escalates because you're more, I would say, invested in that moment in time when you're focusing, all right? So you can think of a lot of examples probably in your life, and I'm going to give you a couple where the moment in time is really obvious to me, all right? And it wouldn't work well, in many cases, it wouldn't work well any other way. Okay, so I play tennis regularly. I may be thinking about the past and the future, but when I'm playing tennis, I had better be thinking about that very moment when I'm ready to hit that ball and where that ball's going across the net and when that ball's coming back to me. I better only be in the moment. Now, I'm not great at focus, okay? So I do have this issue with being in the now. So I'll get out there on the tennis court, and oftentimes I'll be thinking about 10 other things other than being on the tennis court. And guess what? My whole game falls apart. I mean, it literally falls apart. And this is a repeating pattern over and over. And that's my issue, I realize. But my point is when I am laser focused on the moment in time and what I'm doing, guess what? It all falls in place. And this happens repeatedly to me. But it's about the focus in the moment of time. Not thinking about, oh my God, I just lost the last 5 points. I'm going to lose this set. Well, yeah, if I'm thinking about the last 5 points that I lost, I don't have a chance, right? Because that's what I'm going to think about. And I'm not in the now moment to make that next point perfect. Secondarily, if I'm focused on the future, a lot of times I'll do this. Oh, geez, I got 10 things to do when I get home, and I'll start thinking about them. Or I'll just think about something random rather than not focus at all. My game falls apart. So the point is it's that now moment where the power is offered. And again, that whole idea of time kind of goes away. And yet at the same time, I realize each moment builds on itself, but it's only what you have right now, that now moment to work within. So make it worthwhile and put your focus to it. Another example I'll give, and then I'm going to leave you to think about this for yourself, is what I noticed, and I never understood this. I just thought it was odd and an odd feeling. And this is long before my awakening. I would have a few weeks of vacation each year in my corporate jobs that I had through my whole life up till now. And when I would go on vacation, I remember saying this regularly, because I'm not a big planner on vacation. It's kind of have general ideas of what we're going to do, what we're going to see, but never like, this is what we're going to do every single step of the way. So what would happen is all of a sudden I would realize time felt like it stood still and was extended out much longer than, say, the 2 weeks of vacation I went on. More like I'd been gone a month. And every single moment lasted longer. Well, I figured out why. And I realized it then. And now it's even more profound since I've gone through awakening, that whole idea. But what I said was, it's because I'm not focused on what I have to do in the future and always thinking out and losing the moment in time, losing the life, right? The life we have that moment in time, or thinking about the past. So, wrapped up in that whole human world. So when you go on vacation, you're much more likely to be able to experience that idea of no time or moment in time and be able to relish it and enjoy it and extend it out. It feels longer. So some of you may have experienced that. But I just wanted to offer you my perspective on this channel. And we could talk, I think, a long time about this one. But with respect to, what is really time and how you can turn it around and allow it not to control you all the time. Because frankly, that's what we do in our human world. We let time control us. It is the defining, it's the foundation of what we work from if you think about it. And in the awakening, I think we start looking at this differently. So I would challenge you with taking a look at this channel again and thinking about it for yourself and how you might be able to experience time differently as you move forward. So thank you for joining me today. And before I leave, I just do want to remind you all of the new service that I have in my Purple Rain Healing business. And I absolutely love this. It is Spiritual Awakening Mentoring. There are individual sessions and there are 3-month-long sessions. And they are just so exciting, working with individuals on their journey forward in spiritual awakening. And so I channel during those sessions too, so you get kind of some bonus information. But I wanted to mention that I'm offering that now. And I would love to work with you if you're interested. And you can head on over to my website that I'll list below. So again, thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next video.